George Jackson was born in Chicago in 1941, one of 5 children in a poor working-class family. His mother, Georgia, was afraid of what the streets could do to him.
I used to tell them that they were black, and in order to achieve, they'd have to be twice as good as white. I said, if you're twice as good as a white in school, then maybe you'll make something. Yes, that's what I used to tell them. It was the truth, so why hide it from them?
As a young boy at Catholic school, Jackson experienced racism. The playground was for white kids only. Growing up in the projects, he became involved in petty crime, fighting, stealing.
At age 15, his parents moved to LA and they settled in the Watts district, where he began to be involved in a little bit more serious crimes, stealing a motorbike, breaking and entering. In 1958, he was convicted of a store burglary and sent to CYA, California Youth Authority camp, for several months. He escaped, fled back to Chicago, was involved in a knifing, came back to California in chains.
After spending time locked up in the California Youth Authority, Jackson graduated to state prison when he pled guilty to the robbery of a Bakersfield gas station. It was 1961. Jackson was 19 years old, and he received the indeterminate sentence of 1 year to life.
Well, I was incarcerated under a 1 to life, a term they called for 1 to life, where I could have done 1 year and been released. I've done 10. That's more time than anybody in the state has ever done on a 1 to life.
According to fellow inmate James Carr, when the two became leaders of a gang known as the Wolf Pack, much of their time was spent in the usual convict hustles: gambling, booze, sex, blackmail.
He became a professional prisoner, a real dyed-in-the-wool convict.
And then he started reading revolutionary theory. Then he started reading Marx and Lenin and Mao. And he wrote, I read Marx and Lenin and Mao, and they redeemed me. All of a sudden, he had a context for his anger. He realized, you know, why he was there, why people of his race, of his working class background, why they were in prison in disproportionate numbers. And that was the appeal of George Jackson. He represented in the highest way the injustice of the system and the cruelty and the institutionalized racism of the system.
On the morning of January 13th, 1970, a new exercise yard was opened at Soledad's notorious O-Wing. The prison grapevine had long predicted that a fight between black and white inmates would occur. At around 9 a.m., a racially mixed group of inmates began entering the yard.
We said, well, get on the court, the basketball court. Everyone pick your man. When everyone's set, then we'll do it.
The fight started when Nolen threw the first punch at a white inmate. Others quickly joined the battle. Without warning, Officer Miller fired his weapon at the inmates.
Nolen was the first one shot. He was shot through the chest on the first bullet off of a .30 caliber, very high-powered rifle. He was shot right in the heart.
It was straight up murder.
A second, then a third shot fired, hitting 2 other black inmates. Both would bleed to death. A white inmate had also been wounded. 3 days later, on January 16th, the Monterey County Grand Jury ruled the killings justifiable homicide.
There was just a thickness of anger and a sense of injustice.
You just didn't kill us like that. And then dudes were saying like, damn, we dying, why are we dying by ourselves?
Not long after the ruling had been announced, outrage turned into retribution. At around 6:30 p.m., 26-year-old guard John Mills was beaten and thrown from the top tier of Y-Wing.
Mills was killed not because he was Mills, he was because he was a guard, to pay back for the Opie Miller shooting.
There was a note left on him. 1 down, 2 to go. That was stated really clearly.
George Jackson, Fleta Drumgo, and John Clouchet became the primary suspects in the killing of Officer Mills. In February, George Jackson, John Clouchet, and Fleta Drumgo were indicted for murder. Known as the Soledad Brothers, the case of the 3 inmates would become a cause célèbre.
Was the incident for which you're charged now, was it a revolutionary act on your part?
You asking me to confess to something? As an
Unless you want to, did you kill a man?
Look, one of the most important elements of guerrilla warfare is to maintain secrecy. I've killed nobody until, it's been proven. And they'll never be able to prove anything like that.
In the fall of 1970, George Jackson skyrocketed to international fame with the publication of his book, Soledad Brother, The Prison Letters of George Jackson. By the next year, he was dead.
George Jackson served a life sentence, which turned out to be a death sentence, for a $70 robbery.
The story of George Jackson is a story of the dark side of America. In August of 1971, when Jackson was a 29-year-old inmate at California's San Quentin Prison, he became the central figure in the prison's bloodiest day. Six men, including Jackson, were killed.
They don't tell me anything. They didn't even tell me he was dead. I found that out on the radio.
She hurt deeply, very deeply. And she cried. And she talked to George's dead body. And she said, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that you did not die in vain, that you did mean something to me, your mother, and to the community.